So, I wanted to talk real quick about therapy yesterday and the after effects. I seem to be doing a little bit better today as far as tiredness. I wasn't journaling for like a week, and I think I was depressed and whatnot, and really out of it, and just not able to focus. I feel like now I'm getting back on track and able to take care of myself a little bit better. I think I'm getting a little bit better control now. It's hard to say. The medication I am on, it takes 2 to 4 months to really build up the effects. So it'll be a little while before the effects actually kick in completely. But what I wanted to talk about is yesterday my therapist said something that was, I don't know if it's interesting or troubling, but she thinks a lot of the PTSD I have involves my mother. And she thinks we're thinking maybe a lot of the stuff from my childhood that is like repressed memories is stuff that involved my mother. And that the stuff that I experienced with women, the bad things, have compounded on things my mother said to me when I was growing up. We also discussed maybe my mother's not a good care provider for my father, if she's manipulative and whatnot. We said maybe my mother, because her father was very violent, he had a bad temper, that maybe my mother thought someone she could control, a partner that she could control, and the fact that she can't really control me upsets her because she does not understand or respect the boundaries of, I'm not her spouse, I am her kid, I'm her child, and there are things you can do to your child you can't do to your spouse, and there are things you can do to your spouse you can't do to your child, and she isn't respecting those boundaries, And I told my therapist yesterday some of the things she has done to me, and she's like, that's gross, or like, that's not appropriate. So anyway, last night I didn't notice that my leg was bouncing a lot as we were talking. She said that it happens a lot when we talk about my mother. She said that happens a lot with people with PTSD. They start fidgeting, and they start becoming more hypervigilant, more aware of what goes on around them when they are facing their trauma, talking about their trauma. So that was interesting. We did discuss different things. I know last night I was having a lot of nightmares. I forgot most of it shortly after waking up because the medication makes me forget a lot of it. But I do remember it involved with my mother a lot. I think it's because we used to discuss a lot about my mother. I don't know. Maybe we discussed maybe part of the reason why I don't remember much about my mother being mean is because my mother was more nurturing than my father. So as an adaptation, I just really saw almost all the positive in my mother, not the negative, just because I needed, as she put it, an anchor point. So maybe that was what happened, and I just had blocked out a lot of the negative things because I couldn't handle the thought of someone that was being supportive being harmful just because I needed something to be supportive growing up. We discussed maybe my mother is a sociopath, but my therapist said it'd be hard for her to determine that without meeting my mother. But she has said my mother has certain behaviors that are like that of a sociopath, where she will not respect boundaries. She'll continually try to violate boundaries. that you said, and she will be manipulative. So the thing is, she doesn't really lie that much. Well, she has lied. She has had no qualms lying before. In order to manipulate. She has done that before, I guess. That's something that just came to me. I didn't mention that in therapy. So, I don't know. Maybe she's got sociopathy. Maybe she doesn't. Because the thing is, you always see sociopaths in movies and media as being violent. And that's really a stereotype. Most sociopaths aren't actually violent. That's not true. That's a minority. Most sociopaths are not violent. In fact, a lot of times, if you think about, there are a number of teachers. There are a lot of teachers that are actually sociopaths. In fact, there are a number of the stereotype. A typical example is the sort of gym teacher that basically makes students run suicides all day. Every gym class over and over again, and makes kids suffer like crazy. That could be a sociopath. However, I will say that alone does not indicate a sociopath, because just because someone's tough on you does not mean they're a sociopath. Sometimes people are tough on you because they really care, because they see what you're capable of, or they want you to succeed. In certain case, with David Goggins, I remember he, look at how much time I have here. I appreciate if you're still watching this video. David Goggins talked about how he'll never trust a smile, he'll never judge someone by a smile or a scowl, because he had a teacher who was angry all the time and scowl a lot, but she worked really hard to get David Goggins to be able to read. Whereas he had a teacher who would smile a lot and joke with people and then be really mean to him. So that teacher that was smiling a lot might be sociopathic, because she would be manipulative of people and thinking she was a certain way she wasn't. So it's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, my mother, there's symptoms there of narcissism too, but she doesn't really exaggerate what she does that much. She tries to talk about her accomplishments with me, not in a way that's exaggerative, but kind of in the way that you would want a spouse maybe to praise you. Like something you share with a spouse is like good news, but like me as her kid, like I wouldn't really be proud of a job accomplishment the way a spouse would, and it's like that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, like for not understanding boundaries, I mean, it's like you got a raise at work, good job, but it's like I'm not going to really be proud of you like a spouse would, because I'm not your spouse, So yeah, I don't know, a fan suggests an emotional incest, but I don't know. And when I was having a lot of nightmares last night, I didn't sleep well at all, but I woke up before 5 a.m. I just was not doing good. Mind was going all over the place with nightmares, and alarm was going off. So alarm was going off. I was having nightmares, and it was just chaotic. My dreams and my mind was going all over the place. So right now, I'm trying to get my mind all sorted out. Anyway, that's what I'm like on break today. My break's almost over, so thanks for watching. And get ready to get clocked in again. I'll try to see you later today. See you guys.